Hi guys, we're camping out west. I've always wanted to come to this spot. Do you know why? 2 clues. Tom Hanks, life is like a box of chocolates. Let's go. We are headed up to Muley Point. We found out about this place through Campendium. This is right near Mexican Hat and Valley of the Gods. The views on this place are incredible. After reading the reviews on Campendium, we decided what we would do is we would stay the night in Mexican Hat, which is on BLM land, but it's still on private property, so there was a fee, a nominal fee, and staying at Mexican Hat Rock for the night was actually a good call because it enabled us to really take the drive up to Muley Point to see what we were going to be getting. And I will say it is going to be a little bit of a white knuckle drive. We can do it. We can absolutely do it, but it's going to be tight. There's a couple of switchback turns that I'm nervous about. So Dave has put on his comfortable, fast-moving shoes so he can get out on the road ahead, look around the curve and make sure nobody's coming. So we really want to be cautious as we go up the steep elevation. But the views
are absolutely incredible, and it's free. You get to stay free. The price you're paying is as Sheen had mentioned, some white knuckle driving. I mean, she's already got the Vulcan death grip on that on the wheel, and we're not even there to the part that really is going to be a challenge. But we scoped it out, and we feel pretty comfortable that we're not getting in over our head on this. But once again, it's going to be worth it when you get up there and get set up. I mean, just absolutely stunning views, and can't wait to share that. I mean, it's just this will be by far the most epic spot we've discovered as far as just views and just being in a great location. There's not going to be a lot of people around, so you're not going to be on top of everybody. It's going to be pretty cool. But there's a price to be paid, and it's going to be stressful, but we decided to go for it. So
the drive-in, we go by the entrances for Natural Bridges State Park. It's about 45 miles up the road, and we're right now in Bears Ears National Monument. The drive on each side, we're surrounded by white fluffy clouds, red, that iron oxide, I think it's iron oxide, infused soil. It's spectacular. So the view in front of me is where we're going, and we are going to be going to the top. So a lot of switchbacks await us, narrow switchbacks.
Okay, so based on our research, there's 2 ways to get to this point. One is a much longer drive, probably adds 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. We drove, did the pre-check, drove up the hard way, and doesn't seem like impossible for us. It's going to be a little stressful, but we feel pretty comfortable we can do it. Hopefully we're not regretting this decision, but we're going to find out. And because we're not sure, it may not be that much easier on the other side. There's got to be some there's got to be some switchbacks, and it's got to be, a challenge there as well. So we're going to go for it. And after reading the reviews, I tend to listen to Campendium and try to, everybody's got an opinion on there about how difficult or how easy something is, and that kind of goes back to what kind of rig are you driving and how much experience do you have. I was expecting it to be a lot rougher, to be honest with you. So when we did the pre-drive, I'm like, yeah, we've got this. This is not near as bad as I anticipated. I fully expected we'd see it and say, there's absolutely no way we're going up the rough way. The only way we're getting there is going the long way. So anyway, we're going for it and looking forward to it. So one of the things that we considered when we were going up here is, if for some reason a storm rolls in that's unannounced, which does happen occasionally in these parts, you can be stranded for a few days, and it can get a little cool, to say the least, up there. It was about 50 degrees when we were up there earlier, and the wind was howling pretty good. And so I'm expecting it's going to get down in the low 30s tonight for sure. So what we did is we want to make sure we had plenty of propane. One tank was pretty much empty, and we had about 3/4 of another tank. Undoubtedly, we got plenty for a few days, but just in case the worst case scenario, if you get stranded up there for for several more days, we're all set there. We got plenty of water, and so we're ready for if something bad happens, we got a plan in place. So another thing that Campendium on the reviews is they'll give you information on how good the cell coverage is, if there is any. And that's always important to us because there's things we need to do as far as staying connected to the outside world. And we found out that there is some coverage up here. But once again, our experience has taught us that just because you read a review, maybe the spot that person that wrote the review had great coverage, but a mile down the road, the cell coverage can change. So just because somebody who was at their spot had good coverage and someone pulls in and they're a mile away from where this review was written, and all of a sudden you have no coverage and you're going, what's wrong with those reviews? Well, that's just the way it is out here in these parts. You got a lot of mountains, and we've been impressed with some of the coverage. There's actually been some places we've been to where the coverage has been better than super fast, and you get 4 or 5 bars and it's just flying, or you have 3 bars and it's still flying fast. So we went up and checked it out, so we know we have good cell coverage. We checked the voice, the data, so we're all set from that standpoint. So just another thing to make sure you're prepared for. And as you can see from the sign, they certainly do not recommend big rigs coming up here. Now, we have an 18-foot travel trailer. We're nowhere near the gross weight of 10,000 pounds. So, but yeah, you would not want to come up these parts with a big rig, because it's just with the hairpin turns you have, and just the road can be narrow in spots. Not a good place to be with a big rig.
10% grades, 5-mile-per-hour switchbacks, narrow gravel road, next 3 miles. It looks pretty up there.
Sounds like you have second thoughts over there. No turning back now.
No, there's not.
No way to turn around, so we're committed.
All right, now that sign, when you were talking about 10,000 pounds, that was for commercial vehicles. That underneath it said RVs with travel trailers. I'm thinking there's not too many travel trailers that are going to weigh 10,000 pounds. So I'm thinking they're discouraging travel trailers, and we are pulling a travel trailer. Holy camole, holy crap-o-matic, have we gotten in over our head? The white knuckle, I don't have white knuckles yet. Thinking about it. Oh, there's somebody with a corgi. Switchback number 1, done. And we've got a car coming. Right now we're on a decent stretch of road, but I'm going to wait and let them get by. We're going to wait. So patience is not always a virtue, or I guess patience is a virtue, but I am feeling very virtuous right now.
Yeah, so we're going to let this car go by. He's probably 300 yards up there, but we've got a nice wide spot here, so rather than being greedy and trying to get up there faster.
Because when you get to these narrow switchbacks, honey, you're going to be getting out and jogging your happy feet around those corners.
No problem.
Obviously, I am not doing any filming right now. This is all being done by Dave. I know that's a pretty big drop-off. Now, I know that there's kind of a natural guardrail to the right. There are some turns up here where there are no natural guardrails. It's just kind of a sheer drop-off. So I am just taking my time. We're going up. We've probably made it up a half a mile, so 2.5 miles to go. I see a few curves, and my line of sight is clear around all the curves right now. So we're good so far. All right, so this is a black top switchback. I remember this from this morning. So I have a nice wide turn, and I'll have a good line of sight to the next curve as I can stay wide, and we're good. So we still have wide stretch of road right here.
Yeah, this is a stretch where you don't want to make a mistake.
No, and we let somebody go around us in this Dodge, and there's a reason for that, because somebody's going to have to pull over for the Dodge. They're going to need to pull over for us, because that's a big Dodge in front of us. All right, I'm looking up. The only thing I'm seeing right now is the blue Dodge, and if I look at the line of sight, I don't see anybody coming down, so we still have a very clear drive line, but we're still in some of the widest parts, so this wasn't really the area I was worried about. There was only one turn that we've gone by that I was worried about, and that wasn't that bad. Got plenty of room on this one. I remember this turn. This is another reason why I wanted to drive since I already driven it. And some of this is just like coming back to me. Because you were asking earlier, well, do you want me to drive? And I'm like, no, which would make me more stressful, you driving or me driving? Well, you driving.
Well, one thing is for sure, I really wanted to drive this, but knowing my partner here, her stress level of backseat driving when I'm driving going up a mountain like this would not have been good. So took one for the team here. Let the boss do the driving, and it's all going to be good because she's a really good driver, and we're going to make it. And this is a part that we're going through where we have the truck in front of us, which is good because you literally could scrape the trailer right now if you got too close to the right. So we don't want to be pulling over to let somebody around you now. You get a little idea of just what we're going through here. Here you can see these overhang rocks on the right. Don't want to get too close to those because RVs are taller than the vehicle, and you could definitely scrape. And it really is working out good to have this Dodge pickup in front of us, kind of running cover for us. So
that's why we let him go first.
There's a method to the madness. Just don't look to the right, or rather to the left for you.
I'm not going to look to the left. I am just following this blue Dodge that is my new BFF.
Well, like they told us when we were biking before, always look where you want to go, not where you don't want to go. So look where you want to go, not where you don't want to go. Well, we made it to Muley Point Road or Muley Point Drive, whatever it is. Gina's still stressed out. However, we made it with no problem. High five.
Peace out. That is so good. It was good.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad. Now, had we driven that without doing a pre-drive, that would have been, I know Sheen, she would have been it would have just been panic city. But I would have been out running up and down, making sure, stopping traffic and waving her through and whatnot. But no, it was, doing the pre-drive was absolutely the right thing to do here. And now it's just a matter of hopefully we can find the spot that we want. We know the spot we want. We're just not sure if someone came and snagged it now, since by the time we got up here and got back, it's been a few hours. But there's other spots up here, so we're pretty happy. Feel good about that. We're going to find a great spot. So
we took a left onto the road that's going to take us out to the end. Right now we're driving on a road that's got that red, thick sand that if it rains, we're going to be here for a while because it turns into just basically liquid cement that you'd get stuck in. So that's one of the reasons why the extra propane as well. The spots we're looking for, we saw somebody parked at one high point and they were pulling out when we were doing an inspection. So we know we can get up to that point and it looked great. We actually drove all the way out to the end, and that view is pretty epic. And then there was another spot near the end that was really nice. It had a little bit more shelter, which may make sense if the winds are going to be big, and they are expecting some bigger winds today. So we're going to check out the 3 spots and make a selection because we're going to be here a few days. Just sit back a little bit. So this is our view. This is our location that we've picked. There was somebody in the spot we looked at earlier this morning, but this one will suffice. Now the area I want to get to, it's a narrow passageway in, so we're going to need to back in. I want to get up on this flat panel right here, and then our view out the window and out the side will be the east and the west.
okay, so we're about to witness Sheen's driving skills here as far as backing up. And this is not going to be an easy one because this rock, it looks level, but when you get right down to it, it is pretty uneven. And so it'll be interesting to see how she does. Yeah, you're going to have to come out. You're going to pull further forward because you can't make that angle.
I'm not trying to make that angle first cut.
I know, but if you go forward.
I can't go forward anymore. There's shrubs right there. So
okay, boss.
let me back up. I'm going to back up as far as I can.
Okay, come on back.
You were doubting me. I'm making the cut, right?
You got it. You've got this. All right.
You need to
I just wanted you to get out and
1 and 2, which directions I need to go.
Okay.
Do this if I'm going to hit a shrub, bug, or animal.
but not me.
Not you.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me check this other side. Okay, hold on. Let me take a look.
Okay, we're almost there. What I'm really concerned about is I've got enough clearance to get by this tree. I really don't want to scrape the beam with this sharp edge. So what I'm going to do is go straight back, and then we're going to straighten up once we are past this tree, because our line is really pretty good.
Okay, she's got it lined up pretty good right now. Okay, so come straight back. Okay, start cutting too. All right, she's going to get out and assess the situation. She's going to got a good line here. Now it's just trying to get to the most level spot possible.
Let's say right about here. This is probably as level the tire here.
Okay.
I'm taking the tire here and here.
Okay.
Okay, so
a little bit further. About 3 feet. Okay, let's see how she did. See if she eyeballed it. We might not even have to level this at all. She's got a pretty good eye. Oh, it's in between the two lines. I think we're good enough right there. Perfect.
So we're backed in, moved to the line where I thought we needed to go to. So Dave has put the leveler out and told me to come and check and see how level it is before we level.
Yeah, it's looking pretty level.
I'm good.
Yes, you are. That was excellent.
I'm just good. Let's just say that.
You're great.
Muley Point, a raw, rugged, and vast location that's carved out of time. It's our home away from home for the next 4 days. What Dave and I love about dispersed camping is that for a few days and moments, we make each new location our own with our own adventure and lifestyle. From sunny days, along with cooking up a few great meals, breathing in what nature and the open road has to offer. Sunsets of fire and cool nights, rejuvenating solitude was ours to discover and embrace.
So we're getting ready to exit, sadly, from Muley Point Dispersed Camping Area. And wow, what a great location. A little difficult to get to on one side, but certainly worth the effort. And I can't say enough good things about this. It's located just outside of Mexican Hat. There's a lot you can do. There's Monument Valley. There's some natural bridges you can go and explore. All kinds of, the Valley of the Gods are nearby. So there's lots you can do. I mean, just look at this view out here. I mean, it is just unbelievable. And we had a lot of space to ourselves. I mean, there was one day we literally had this place to ourselves almost 90% of the day, and some people showed up later in the evening. If you're adventurous, you can absolutely find a spot with no one within. I mean, you won't be able to see anybody. You'll be so far away from them because there's some great roads that just offshoot, and you just can't miss it. I mean, it is just crazy beautiful up here, and with a little bit of research, you can find just great spots. I mean, this is by far the #1 dispersed camping location we have discovered.
Muley Point. Sadly, we're leaving today, but the good news is we will be back.